or subject terms. So I'm going to look for teamwork, but I'm also going to look for social loafing. Okay, so I'm going to start just with that. So I have these two as my search terms, and you can put in as many as you want. Notice that I also put quotation marks here around social loafing. If you have something that's multiple words, a phrase or something that you know you need to keep together, make sure that you put quotation marks around it so that it's looking for that whole phrase and not just social or loafing. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do my search. See what comes up. Okay, so not too many results, a little bit over 100. So these mostly are going to be articles. It looks like mostly from journals, and you can tell that right here by it says academic journal. So you're going to get just some initial information about your results from this list here. So you've got the title, you've got a little bit of information here, you've got the author. This is actually the journal where it was published. Usually have the publication date, so that can be helpful to pay attention to. You don't want something too old. And then it's going to start to give you a brief description about the article. So these are the things you can kind of take a look at to figure out, okay, is this something that's relevant to my topic or do I need to move on? It also lists subject terms. So social loafing is one of those, so that I can, think, okay, this article is definitely going to talk about social loafing. But each of these are like the terms or the keywords that this article really focuses on. So this is another good place if you're kind of struggling with search terms and figuring out what to use. If you find a good article, I would look here at these terms listed under subjects, and you might be able to find some other good search terms here. But each of these articles, you can kind of scroll through and see if there's anything that looks relevant or helpful to you, um, you know, within these results. So let me see. Student teamwork induction protocol. Okay, so this is saying student, and I'm looking down here at subjects. It's saying group work and education. So it does look like this is actually focusing on student groups rather than teamwork within the workplace. So this might be a helpful thing. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this and get a little bit more information. So once I click on it, I have all those subject terms again, and then I have an abstract. And the abstract is basically a summary of what's included in the article. So a lot of these articles, especially if they're coming from academic journals, are really lengthy. They can get quite technical. So what I suggest is read that abstract, read that summary, decide if it's worth your time to read the article itself, because it will take some time. So see, is this relevant? Is this going to help me? And it looks like this one is talking about, group work amongst students and in an education setting. So it may be helpful. So if I decide, okay, yes, this is something that I want to take a look at, I may end up using this as a resource, then you access the full text. So sometimes the full text is right there as you scroll down, and in that case, this one is. Sometimes you'll have to click on a link to get to it. So sometimes you'll just see a PDF full text link, and that's how you'll access the full text of the article. So let's take a look at this article really quick. Because like I said, if it's published in some sort of academic journal, that is going to be pretty lengthy. It's going to be quite technical. A lot of times these are some sort of research study that was done. So they started with a question or a hypothesis that they want to answer or prove, and then they're walking you through the steps they took to answer that question. Okay, so they're including all of that information. So you're seeing things like methods, results, all of that. I would focus on, if you find one of these articles and think it's going to be helpful, definitely read through the whole thing. I would focus on the introduction, okay, where it gives you some basic information, background information about this. Then it kind of introduces you to the different types of problems in this case. So read that part. Method you can read through, but you're not going to get a lot of like super great information from this in terms of what you might incorporate into your own paper or presentation. So then you want to find the section where they talk about the results. So they might have a results section, they might have a discussion. So that's where you want to read that, because they're telling you, okay, here's what we were looking to answer, and here's what we found, and here's what we think it means. Okay, so you're going to get the most information if you read the introduction at the beginning, okay, and then the results and the discussion at the end of the paper. Okay. So notice that, read through. As you find sources, it's a really good idea to keep track of them so that you can go back and use them later. So you can either download anything you find to your computer, you can also email anything you find to yourself. So a lot of the databases offer an option where you can send it to yourself. In this particular case, it's up at the top over on the right-hand side. You'll click on the email link. All you have to do is put your email address here in the email to box and send it. Okay. And the other very cool thing you're able to do, because I know you guys are going to have to include a list of annotated citations, right? I'm not sure if you're using a specific citation style or just a citation in general, but you can just click on this cite button and it's going to give you citations. Okay, so we have the APA citation listed here. Or if you're doing MLA style, we have the MLA style citation. So what you could do is you could actually copy and paste this and use that as your citation for your source. Okay, so that's really helpful. It's a nice time saver, so you're not having to pull all of that information out yourself. And then you can go through and add your annotation after that. Okay. Um, any questions so far? Because I know this is probably very new. So it's a good time to just take a little break and let me know if you have any questions. Where this is, sure. So um, once we did our search, okay, the citation part. Okay, once we did our search and I clicked on an article, so you have to find an article first. Once you find that article over here on the right-hand side under tools, you'll find a cite option. So sometimes it looks like this, sometimes you'll see a little quotation mark indicator, but it should all say cite. And then here's where, and so then you'll just scroll down to find whatever citation style you're using. So they have APA, they have MLA, and then you can copy whatever they have listed for the citation and paste it into your document. Any other questions? Okay. Let me get an idea from you about how much more time we have. As I get that from you, I'll move on. So like I said, the trickiest part I think for y'all, okay, class ends at 11:50. Perfect. The trickiest thing I think for y'all is going to be figuring out your search terms because this is kind of, you're probably going to have to try a few different searches to find the information you need based on whatever your problem is and whatever concepts you're looking for. Um, Something I did, I found out, okay, so it looks like based on our subject terms, group work might be another good search term I would try instead of teamwork. So instead of teamwork, I'm going to do group work and social loafing and see what comes up. I think you're probably going to have to try a few different searches to really find all the articles that are going to be most helpful for you. Okay. Um, so let's see. And some of these you might find are focusing more on the problem than on the solution. Um, so something that I found as I was kind of trying to find some example resources for y'all, and Professor Hall mentions this in the assignment. Um, so she refers you to a website that's a really good place to find resources. It's the Organizational Behavior and Theory. So let me just pull this up really quick. So what you might want to do as you start your research is you might want to come to this website first before you go into the library resources. Come here, type in your problem. So, social loafing, I'm looking for some solutions to that. See what resources you can find here. Okay, sure. So this is on the assignment details. So I've read your assignment. Hopefully y'all have too. Um, it's called Organizational Behavior and Theory Commons. And okay, sure. Okay. So if you use this website kind of as a jumping off point and you put in your problem that you're trying to solve. So I typed in social loafing up here in this little search bar at the top right hand corner. Search it. Okay, and then here are some articles that talk about this. So I might kind of scroll through and see if anything looks helpful. Um, so let's see. A lot of these look like they could be helpful, so you could just click on them. Um, it, once you click on it, it usually takes you to a page that gives you some more information. It gives you that abstract, so it gives you that summary of the article, and then it gives you an option to download it. Um, so you might take a look at some of these too. And those might give you some potential solutions to use to answer your problem. And those solutions might be what you want to search within the library resources, is basically what I'm getting at. Um, so this particular article might present some ideas in terms of how you might solve a problem like social loafing in a group work setting. And then that concept you could then search within the library resources. Okay. So something I pulled just from the title here was actually team problem solving. So that's something that I might actually want to search within the library databases. That might give me some great concepts to use or some solutions. So I'm going to go back to the database here. I'm going to go back here to my advanced search. Oh, or I'm not. So I'll try just the basic search here. I'm going to try team problem solving and see what comes up there. And apparently it's just going to give me trouble today. I don't know if y'all are having this problem. Hopefully y'all are not having trouble accessing it. Let me see if I can do a different window here and see if it'll work for me. Okay, that worked. Okay. So it's just like I said, the trickiest part for y'all for doing your research is going to be figuring out search terms. Try a bunch of different ones. You might try going to this website, seeing what sort of um, articles or solutions have been offered here, and then taking that information, taking those concepts you learn from articles here, and using that as a search term in the library database. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, and I know it's a little tricky because of our communication issues today. If you have any questions, this is a great time to ask them. We can throw them in the chat. But also, I'd like to give you a little bit of time to try some searching in this database yourself. So don't use my example, use your problem. Use the concepts that you think apply specifically to this problem. See if you can find any resources for your specific problem and solutions. Okay, this is a good chance. We'll try it just for a few minutes, maybe 5, if that long, just to see what comes up. And don't expect to find all the right articles right away. You're going to have to play around with the search terms a little bit, try a few different searches, but just see what comes up. And then I am here to answer any questions if you have trouble or have specific questions about this. So go ahead and take that time. And please throw questions in the chat if you have them and just kind of play around with this. How's it going? Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down or a facial expression. Okay, they save the ones they wanted to use. Sure. So if you find an article that you want to keep, I suggest so you can log in and save it that way. But because these might be in different databases, that can get a little bit tricky. So honestly, easiest way I think is if you're not downloading it to your own computer, what you can do is you can just email it to yourself. So when you're on the article, use the tools over here on the right-hand side, click on the email option, and then all you have to do is put your email address in here, email to. It doesn't have to be your student email, whichever one is easiest for you to check. And then you have emails with all of it's either going to give you a PDF full text of the article, or it's going to give you a direct link back to the article so that you can get back to it later. So that's honestly the easiest way to save those, is just email them to yourself. It even has the option of giving you the citation format. So you can, select whichever citation style you're using and it'll send you the citation as well. Any other questions? Do y'all need a few more minutes to search, or do you want me to show you one other way to search? Okay. So this one that we were just looking in, let me just remind you, this was one of our databases. It's Psychology and Behavioral Sciences collection. You can stick in this database, you can, if you're finding what you need, but I'm going to show you one other place to search that gives you a bunch more results. So if you're having trouble finding some things on your topic, you might want to try this as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to, you probably still have a tab for the Dallas College databases link, you may or may not, but I'm going to go back to our library homepage. So if you need help getting back there, you can just type in dallascollege.edu/library into your browser. Um, or just everybody go ahead and get back here to our main Dallas College Library homepage. Everybody able to get back here? Yes. And if you're having trouble, you can just go to dallascollege.edu/library, and that should bring you right here. Once you're here, what we're going to do is we're going to search our library catalog. So that is the very first thing on our page. It says search the library catalog. And this searches for resources that we have physically at each of our campus libraries, but it also searches for almost all of our online resources. So this is a great Okay, so I'm going to show you this one very quickly. This searches for almost everything we have available online, in addition to anything that we have at our campus libraries. So again, search terms are going to be the biggest thing. You can either use this search box right here, or, okay, so pay attention to this part so you know where I'm going. Search the library catalog. If you just hit this search button, it's going to take you through to our actual catalog search and give you more options. So once you hit that search button, you'll see here, you still have the option to click on advanced search. I recommend doing that so you have some more options, and then you can put in multiple search terms in here. Okay, so I'm going to try again. I'm going to try, in this case, I'm going to try group work, put that in quotation marks so that it looks for the whole phrase. And this time I'm going to try interpersonal conflict, because that's one of the other concepts, okay, that I think my problem includes. So I'm going to search both of those. I'm just going to click search right down here. So keep in mind the catalog searches everything. So it searches our libraries and it searches all of our online resources. I'm going to assume that y'all do not want to come to one of our campuses to check out books we have at our library. So the first thing I'm going to do is limit over here on the left-hand side. I'm going to choose only the resources that we have available online. So I'm going to click on this full text online button. Okay, I suggest that you do that too. Once I do that, you can see there are other filters, so you can limit by date if you want to, or what type of resource you're looking for. But here's my result list. Okay, and so then I can kind of scroll through, and each of these is going to give me a little bit of information about what I found. So this first one I see, it's an article. Okay, so it tells me that right there. Then it gives me the title, gives me a little bit of more information, and then I can click through if I decide that's something I want to look at. This next one says it's a book, but it does say full resource available. So this means that it's an ebook that you could access online. So you'll just kind of scroll through these, see if there's anything helpful. Um, let's see. And again, I may not find anything super helpful. I might have to look through a few pages, or I might want to go back and change my search terms a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my search terms. So I'm going to do a new advanced search. And this time I'm going to try teamwork. And I'm going to try, actually, no, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a search term I got from that other article. So I'm going to try team problem solving, see what comes up with that. So I'm going to search team problem solving. Okay. And again, remember that I want to limit it to full text online. So always do that, full text online. And then you can see what's available. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this just to use as an example. When you find a resource that looks promising and you want to read it, get a little bit more information, once you click on it, the way you access any of these resources from the catalog is you'll go down to where it says view online, and under full text availability, it's going to have, usually it's either one link or multiple links. If you click on that, that's going to take you directly to the database that has that article, and hopefully it takes you directly to the article itself. Okay, so here's my article. So then I can read through and see if this is relevant to my topic, if it helps me answer my or solve my problem, and if I want to save it. And again, you still have the same options, it just looks a little bit different. So you can email it to yourself. It also gives you the cite feature where you can get the citation. So this is just another way. So we looked in psychology and behavioral sciences collection, that database. And then if you want to get a little bit more broad in your search and get more results, you can use the catalog. Okay. So I know we covered that very quickly, and I know class is about to end, but do y'all have any questions about searching in the catalog? Okay, thank you. Okay, so let me just wrap up. I know we covered a lot and it's probably very new. Hopefully, you feel a little bit more familiar with looking in these databases, feel like you might be comfortable trying it out. That doesn't mean that once you start searching, you're just going to find everything instantly. Okay, you're probably going to have to work at it a little bit. So, I just wanted to point out one last thing on our library website, and you might have also noticed the box kind of popping up a few times. We have a chat, so you can chat with our librarians. It's also right here under Did You Know? And you can click on this chat link. Um, this starts a live chat with one of our Dallas College librarians. So it could be me or it could be any of other of our librarians. It's available anytime that we're open. So here are our hours. Okay. All you have to do, put your name. You don't even have to put your name. I would put your email address in case we need to send you some resources later, and then a brief question. So if you get home or if you're at school and you start doing your research and you're just really having trouble finding the resources you need or have a specific question about something, please start a chat with us. That's what we're here for. So especially with this assignment, it's going to be a little bit tricky figuring out your search terms and finding those resources that are going to apply directly to your problem. So let us know what's going on so we can help you. We might be able to suggest some other search terms or some other places to look. So please use this. Okay, because this was a really quick session and I know you'll probably have questions as it comes up later. Also, Professor Hall, please feel free to share my email with them and y'all can email me directly if you have problems or questions. Okay? Thank y'all. I appreciate it.